This is everything I ate at a seafood convention in Vegas, and I genuinely felt like I turned into the Little Mermaid after this, because I consumed what feels like the entire ocean. This felt like a business conference, but for fish vendors. So there were a bunch of vendors that were giving samples of the seafood that they sell. When we got there, this was so cool because they were cutting up this 300-pound bluefin tuna. It took multiple people up there to handle this tuna because it was so heavy. But as someone who eats a lot of tuna, it was cool seeing them cut it and seeing the process of getting it to my plate. That was fun, but now I'm ready to eat. The first thing I ate was some poke, and then I saw a bunch of sashimi and I just grabbed a few. All of the fish here was so insanely fresh. It felt like they just caught all this out of the ocean. I will say though, I was not a big fan of this toast because the bread was so hard. Legend says that I'm still chewing on that bread. Now, my mission was to eat as much salmon and tuna as possible, so when I saw the salmon, I immediately ran. And then when I saw this tuna and toro, I was like, give me 14 of these on deck right now. I don't know what I was fed here, but it was good, and this toro was so buttery. The tuna just melted in my mouth. At this point, I was trying to hit every single vendor because, I mean, it's free food, so obviously I'm gonna make a pit stop at every vendor. Now, this may have been my favorite stop because the salmon was so fresh, but whatever sauce and toppings they put on top of it, oh my god, it was so good. I even went back for a second round and they were like, oh, you came back. And I was like, hell yeah, I did. Now, this vendor next to it had some of the best salmon I've ever had. It was just so fresh and delicious. I still think about that salmon to this day. Moving on, I'm never gonna say no to a caviar bump. I love myself a good bump. And these scallops were cooked to perfection. Just so soft, but the outside was buttery. And at this point, I had so much raw fish that it was nice having something cooked. Then I picked up the freshest hamachi with some caviar. And then at this point, I was just grabbing everything. And I consumed so much seafood at this point that I was getting a little sick of it. And I've never had this happen to me before, but I looked at seafood and I was like, I never want to eat seafood ever again. I'm just being dramatic, but I was like, I have to get through eating all of these vendors. There was this toro sampler with the fattiest part of the tuna to the leanest part. I love toros, so everything about this was delicious. And then I finished off by getting a little sweet treat. It was all so good, but I left feeling like I turned into a fish and I was defeated.